Hey everyone, welcome back to ArtistryinCards, brought to you by JessicaLynnOriginal.com. I'm Jessica, the owner and artist behind it all, and today I've got something really special. We're going to dive into the vintage vault with a handmade card featuring none other than the cartoon version of Beetlejuice and Lydia Deetz from 1989. How cool is that? Now, I didn't draw this amazing art, typically I do, but it is straight out of an original comic book from back in the day. With the new Beetlejuice movie on the horizon, I thought, you know what a better way to celebrate than by creating something in his honor. So let's get crafting. So I went ahead and scanned the comic book, and you can see I printed it out on heavy cardstock. And from here, I was able to then use my brother's scan and cut to be able to cut all the way around nice fine lines. Now, the next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to do something that reminded me of his suit. And so I printed off on cardstock just a large oval with a nice wide border. Then I took masking tape, and I am going to go ahead and use Distress Oxides to color the spaces in between the masking tape. And what it'll do is it'll have, again, obviously that black and white, everything that we know about Beetlejuice. Oh, don't want to say it again. About his suit. So this is going to work out so well. I cannot wait to see how this looks. And then I'm going to try and find my green. I have I think it's called Mowed Lawn, and I might try and put a little bit of that in the middle just to kind of have that same dingy black and white stripe / green suit that he wears. So let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, so basically what I did was obviously I created this oval, and then I put that masking tape down. And if you've never used Distress Oxide before, the best tip that I can give you is blot it before you kind of rub that ink into the space that you want it to be in. Otherwise you get really heavy-handed. Now, depending on the look you're going for, it might be okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to really try to darken those edges. And then on the inside, I have a color of Distress Oxide called Mowed Lawn. It's a pretty bright green, but I think it will look very much like his suit, which is what I'm trying to recreate. Hopefully this will work. Not 100%, but we're going to try it. But I think that's the fun of card making. You never know what you're going to get, but it's worth trying, because what's the worst that happens? I come up with something more creative and I make it again, and it's better the next time. So let's go ahead and just put some of that green in there, and I am going to just use the same brush because I want that really dark black to kind of mix with it a little. Yeah, I think this is going to look good. And when I take that masking tape off, it's going to be bright white. So I think I might have to come through, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. I might have to come through with a little bit more of the black, but maybe I'll make it more gray just to make it look dingy, because I'm afraid it might look too clean. So, all right, we'll see. All right, so I wanted to give you a little bit about the Beetlejuice cartoon animated series. Now, obviously the original movie came out. It was a huge success. Kids, everyone loved it. And next thing we know, it was actually part of a staple of the Saturday morning cartoons. Now, for those of you that didn't grow up in the 80s and 90s, you were missing out, because Saturday morning cartoons were so fun. They were always based off of whatever the new hot thing was. So at one point, I know right here, I'm going to make it sound bad, but at one point there was New Kids on the Block, the Saturday morning cartoon. So again, it went off of whatever the new pop culture thing was. And so the cartoon series based off of Beetlejuice and Lydia premiered on September 9th, 1989. Now it's kind of funny because the new Beetlejuice movie, the Beetlejuice, is actually going to debut on September 6th of 2024. So how cool is that? Many years, just a couple days later, right? The cartoon series itself, it ran for 4 full seasons, and it had a total of 94 episodes, and it concluded October of 1991. So they were cranking through the episodes. You can see I went ahead and cut that oval out. I'm just going to clean up the lines because I want to make sure that it has that black line all the way around. There you go. See how that looks? That little bit of green. Very cool. I might, like I said, there's a part of me that's thinking I might have to come back and do a little bit of dirtying up on that, but we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and put down some background paper, and my glue was just a hot mess today. Blah, gross. All right, here we go. Now I am going to come back in with that black, and I am going to dirty up this green because it is just a little too perfect and clean. And for those of you that know this character, that is completely not what he's about. So it has to be distressed a little. We'll say that instead of other words, right? So let's take a look and see how that looks. There we go. Perfect. All right, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put masking tape down along the left-hand side. But first I'm going to sign the back of my card. I tell you that every single episode here at ArtistryinCards with JessicaLynnOriginal.com. Always sign the back of your cards, because if this card turns up and my kids find it, they'll be like, oh, my mom made that. And then they'll go through my YouTube channel and be like, oh my God, I can watch my mom making that card. So just make sure you sign your cards. Just because that can mean so much to someone. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. And I started with the glue on, and then I was like, nope, I need to make that green just a little more distressed. So I'm gonna grab out more of that ink. I always put down a piece of masking tape down along the side, especially if I'm gonna go right on the card. Because I wanna make sure that I don't end up with, you know, like the back of the card getting all messed up. See, now first I started, and then I'm going to come back in and fix it in just a minute. But again, I'm just going to hit those edges because I just want it a little dirtier, because I just feel like it's entirely too clean. And I really just don't want, you know, this perfectly clean card, especially when we're considering who it's about. So I'm going to put that masking tape down. There we go. Now I did go a little heavy-handed up on that top left, but I think that'll still be okay. All right, so let me continue on. So obviously the plot of the show was all about Beetlejuice, who was a mischievous ghost, his best friend Lydia Dietz. But in this one, she was a little bit different. So she was a goth girl who could travel between the real world and the netherworld, even within the same cartoon episode. Unlike the 1988 film, where he was more of an antagonist, the cartoon plays him more friendly and kind of like goofy and funny. And he's often helping Lydia with her problems. So it's a little bit different, but I'll be really honest, it was really cute. I didn't watch it a whole lot. I knew a lot of people that loved it. But I am a big fan of Beetlejuice, and I went through a phase, I think, in middle school and high school, where anytime it was like a dress up like this day, you know, I had a full stripy suit. And at one point, actually, 3 of my friends also had stripy suits. It was tons of fun. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and color them in. I went and found a point of reference, so I am going to try them color them in as close to the cartoons as I can. The only big difference is that in the cartoon, his hair was more of a yellow color. And for my card, I'm going to make it more green, only because of the background. I really want it to kind of match a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and color this in. All right, one final fun fact about the Beetlejuice cartoon is that it was actually still produced by Tim Burton. And he also produced the original movie along with quite a few other companies, including Warner Brothers Television. So Tim Burton did give his blessing on this cartoon, which is why it still felt the same. But obviously they adjusted the characters a little bit for Saturday morning cartoons. I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are enjoying my video. I absolutely love making cards, designing stamps, and I do create at JessicaLynnOriginal.com original art for digital stamps, custom red rubber stamps, self-inking. I also do quite a bit of photopolymer stamps. So if you are into scrapbooking or card making, be sure to visit my website. I've got the link down below, or at the end I'll put a QR code and you can click on that or scan it, and then you'll be able to go out and visit my website. But I started ArtistryinCards as a YouTube channel to go along with JessicaLynnOriginal.com so I could show off my creative side, and not everything here on my YouTube channel is something I've drawn. Like, for example, this one was a coloring book, but I love being able to diversify my art interests and share that with you and hopefully inspire you to create something fun. So if you haven't already, I do ask that down on the bottom right hand corner, just click on that little subscribe button. We would love to have you come back. Today is September 1st, and we are just shy of 5,000 subscribers. I can't believe it, because this channel, I just started it recently, with actually 1 year ago yesterday. And we have so many subscribers, and I don't even think we've hit the cusp of what we've got coming. So I would love for you to join in and be part of our channel. All right, while we're coloring, I thought it would be fun to do some trivia about the 1988 original Beetlejuice movie, especially because the new one is coming out soon. All right, so here we go. Question number 1. What is the name of the couple who becomes ghosts in Beetlejuice? Husband and wife. You're right if you said Adam and Barbara Maitland. Way to go. All right, easy one here. I already gave you the answer to this earlier, but who directed the 1988 film Beetlejuice? Totally right if you said Tim Burton. If you could name other movies Tim Burton has done, you maybe extra points there, so you could think of a couple, maybe Batman and others. All right, what is the name of the handbook that Adam and Barbara receive after their death? Adam pronounces it wrong when he first reads it. I can only ever hear him saying handbook for the recently deceased, but it's for the deceased. And I've actually seen at the Spirit Halloween store, they've had a really awesome purse version of that, so if you've ever looked for it. What is Beetlejuice's job or title in the film? What does he say he does? Well, of course he says he's a bioexorcist specializing in scaring away the living from haunted houses. I absolutely love the original movie. We recently watched it and I forgot how good it was. It feels really short though. I mean, I remember as a kid thinking the movie was much longer. And I don't know, it just felt really short. As you can see, so obviously while we're doing some trivia here, I'm just doing some coloring. I'm using a W7, so it's not quite black. It's almost like a really dark gray. And I thought that would be smart because then with the background being darker, I can also come in with a lighter gray to do shadowing. And then I'm going to come back in with a green to kind of just muck up his suit just a little bit because I think that'll make it look really good. But I am so happy with the way this is turning out. So thanks for joining me with trivia and hanging out while I am coloring away. I am just so happy with how this is turning out. See that shadow, just adding a little W3 which gives it a little bit of a shadow. And I did it on her face because she's supposed to be pasty white color, so I didn't want to change that. But then what I did was I found this, I think it's almost like a military grade green, and I'll show you in a minute. Right now I'm going to just do some bigger shadows on the suit, just because I feel like once I put it on the card, it's going to lose something. But once I do some more of these bigger shadows, I'm going to come back in with green just to darken it up. All right, another trivia question. What does Lydia Dietz say about herself when she first encounters the Maitlands? Of course, I myself am strange and unusual. And now every time I see her, I can't also go, and Will's mom, right? Because I've seen Stranger Things, and so that's all I see her in. So one more trivia question, and then we'll finish up with this card. I absolutely love how the coloring is doing. I think he looks nice and three-dimensional. Like, I love the shadowing on the suit. Looking at it here in post-production while I'm doing this audio editing, it really kind of pops. So I hope you see that as well on the screen. And adding that little bit of green just sort of mucks up his suit a little bit, which I love. I am so happy with the way this is turning out. All right, last question. What iconic song plays during the dinner party scene where the characters are possessed by ghosts? Well, of course, it's Deo, Deo. And if you sang it along right when I did, honestly, we're twins. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Armani. No, just kidding. No, I hope that you guys enjoyed a little bit of trivia while I was coloring. I thought, what a fun way to, be building cards, color, communication. So I absolutely love this. I cannot wait to see how this looks. Now, just like I promised earlier, after I put it all together, I put Beetlejuice and Lydia on top of it, and I realized those stripes are just entirely too bright white. So we had to dull it down a little bit. So again, I went back to my soot colored, it's like a black, gray, really dark. And you can see I'm just dirtying up those white stripes. I think that that is going to help make them pop off the screen or off my card just a little bit more. I'm really happy with this though. I think it looks super cute. And I love the idea of coming up with the stripes using the masking tape. Like, that was really easy to do. So we're going to go ahead and glue them up. And just like before, my glue is super just a hot mess today. We had a really hot spell here in Wisconsin. And so I think some of my glue got too warm. So now it's really gummy, which is fine. I'll just have to do some cleanup. But let's go ahead and glue this on and add them to the card. This is that moment where I always kind of freak out just a little bit because, once you got the glue on there and everything else, you cannot change it. And, oh, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. There's only one small thing I might have to tweak, but, oh, they look so cute. It almost looks like they're dancing on that. So that's kind of fun. In hindsight, maybe I could have swapped it. Like, maybe it would have been better to have done the black and white stripes in the background and the green in the oval. I don't know, just ideas, but I really like the way this looks. It has such a Beetlejuice feel that I think that it's really cute. I'm so happy with the way this card turned out. Now, I thought it needed one more thing. So on the inside, I'm going to go ahead and just put a sentiment. And so I thought what would be really fun to put, I'm going to put a little piece of paper here and I'm just drawing it by hand. And so I decided to add a sentiment on the inside. So on the inside, it says, "My whole life," and again, this is a quote from the movie, "is a dark room." So my whole life is a dark room. So I thought that was really fun. I think it's fun to put sentiments inside. I enjoy handwriting them. Big surprise, right? Like, I draw most of my art, so So here it is, my final card. I hope that you enjoyed this. I appreciate you. I hope that you hung out for this whole time with me. I hope you enjoyed trivia. I'm trying to do something just a little bit different. So if you enjoyed, the trivia with the conversation while we made a card, I feel like it just feels like we're hanging out together a little bit more. So if you like that, comment down below what you think, and don't forget to go ahead and subscribe. You can click on the image that's in that little circle. I'll put up a couple more videos, and then that QR code off on the left hand side actually goes to my rubber stamp, photopolymer, custom, all that good stuff, JessicaLynnOriginal.com. So thank you again. Take care, everybody.